Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, Karma Sannyasa Yogam, Shloka number 18. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapake Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Lord Shri Krishna, in this chapter, particularly from the shloka number 13 onwards up to 21st shloka, highlighting the central theme of this chapter about the Gnanam and the Gnani, the state of the Gnani's mind and his way of behaving in this world, whether he acts just or he reacts like any other person. So like this, many characteristics of the Gnanam and the Gnani are explained. Now in the last class, before I am explaining the previous shloka, we categorized the entire human beings into 4 groups. One are illiterate, innocent people, and second are who is having the body identification and considering themselves as the body, and the third are who is considering themselves as the jiva, and the fourth one is who considering himself as the Brahman. Now out of these 4, who is superior? Shastra wants to show and highlight this fourth one who recognized himself, consider himself as the Brahman, Chaitanyam. He is the Gnani. All others 3 are just a materialistic people, ignorant people. Now, after telling that, in this particular 18th shloka also I have given the meaning in the last class itself. Here, what kind of transformation will take place in the Gnani's mind? The transformation only in the intellectual level, at the cognition level. So 3 things are common for both the Gnani and Ajnani as far as considering as far as the body level. What are the 3 common things? One is Desham, the space. Space doesn't affect the Gnani, Ajnani, both are in the same place. So Gnani need not to change the place, and Gnani for his Gnanam he need not to go to next life and the next loka or anything. So both are living in the same place. Some are maybe in the house as grihasthas, some are maybe in the ashram or in the remote place, the Gnani. And Ajnanis also live in the society, in the world. So, Desha wise, if you see, Desha means the space wise, it is same. And both has to face what are the outer geographical, climatic situations, changes, all both will face. And the same time, and kalam also, the time. No one can stop this process of time. No one can swim against to the time. So both are having the effect on them, the time also, the space also, and the third one is prarabdha. Prarabdha is a karma which released from his sanchitam, which he accumulated in the past janmas, that comes and gives the results now. So for Gnani also prarabdha will come and attack in both the forms, in Sukha form or Dukkha form. And Ajnani also will undergo the prarabdha. Now then where is the difference and what is the difference between this Gnani and Ajnani? And Gnani also sleeps and wakes up and take bath and eat, and he also wears some clothes and he also talks. Then Ajnani also do the same thing. So at physical level, their normal routine, these things if you see, they are all same. And Gnani's body also, according to the prarabdha, undergoes changes. And according to the nature, Gnani's body also will become old, also get some kind of diseases, and that also will die. Then what is the use of getting the Gnanam and what is the difference between both of them? That is what Lord here explaining. It is a of transformation of the mind and in understanding. What is the first transformation? He starts seeing the oneness in everything and every being. Samadarshinaha. Then only he is called a Pandita, wise person, Gnani. So what is the first transformation? Start seeing the non-different self in every living being. So here Bhagavan given some examples. So he is well educated, Vidya, and he is endowed with Vinayam, the humility, humbleness, simple living, and high thinking. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Here Sampanna means he is very rich with this his knowledge and his humility, Vinaya. Now what is the real health in this world? Hmm? Health is the wealth. Generally in the world the slogan is popular. But here real wealth, health you cannot maintain. We'll try. If it is sometimes we will be successful, but totally it is not in our hands. We have no choice for many things. So mostly about this prarabdha undergoing of the modifications, what sukha or dukkha which is going to come to me today or tomorrow, nobody knows, no choice for us. So wherever there is no choice and accepting the choiceless experience or the existence is called facing the prarabdha. Prarabdha means the choiceless experience, whichever comes. But Gnani accept it as it is without any reaction. So the real wealth is the Gnanam. Gnanam is the richest, highest wealth. That's why we must try to gain that knowledge. there are many rich people. People can have money. With that richness, they can buy the very costliest nice bed, but they can't buy the sleep. With money, people can uh, buy the people. Rich person, money is there, so you can buy the people, but you cannot buy the friends. Rich people with the money, uh, you can have lot of costliest food you can buy, but you cannot buy the hunger. Same way, you can buy so many luxurious things to you, but you cannot buy the peace of mind. So, like this, so many are there. Money can give so many things, but they cannot give other so many important things which are essentially required for the inner development of the person. So, particularly the happiness, peace, and security. How much money you may have, but you won't get the real feeling of security. So, like this, the richest man is the Gnani, that is the highest wealth. So, Vidya, Vinaya, Sampanne, and naturally, he this Vidya Sampanna himself is called Brahmana, and he will see the non-different consciousness, the self, in all levels of the creation. That means three gunas act, function in three different gunas in different levels in the people. So here Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika gunas to represent. Bhagavan given the examples of the Brahmana and the cow, which are symbolic for the Sattvika guna, and the elephant is to Rajoguna. Uh, Sometimes it looks like the Sattvika, but basically again it is a Rajoguna. It's very passionate. It even by just touch of the female elephant, this male elephant will become mad, attracted to it, even the picture of it. Then for the third guna to represent, Lord said, is the dog. So according to the tradition, Shastra, dog is considered as the very, very lowest category of the animal. But if we say more about it nowadays, you may get angry because many of you may have your pet dog also at home. But we must know that what Shastra talks about it. That's why those days in the no olden days, nobody will keep the dog in the house wantedly. It may be there in the courtyard or it may be there in the street, but they won't keep it as a pet animal. But nowadays it becomes so popular to keep a dog in the home, on our bedroom, in our bedroom, on the bed. People are so much attached to the dog, but that is considered as the very, very, very lowest uh, character, the animal, dog. And there are so many other reasons also. But anyhow, if I elaborate more and talk about it, you will may feel disgust about me. So Shuni, dog. And then, yeah, then the still the worst is the Chandala, or the person who eats the meat of that dog, and such a. So Pandita, this wise person, will have a Samadarshanam. Now, up to this, I have told in the last class itself. Now, there is a one point Shankara analyzes in the Vashyam, if a Purvapakshi or a opponent comes and says the objection that, sir, in Gautama Smriti, it is said like that a wise person should not see the uh, equanimity in the equal equanimity, not equanimity, equality in the uh, where there is no equality. And same way, where there is no equality, he should not see the equality. That means these are the two Sanskrit words. Seeing the samam in the vishamam. Vishamam means variables. Seeing the oneness in the variables and seeing the variables in the oneness. Samam and vishamam. You must see the where to see the equality, you have to see the equality. Where you have to see the variation and difference, you have to see the difference one. But here it looks like the against to the Smriti Grantha, which is Gautama Smriti. We have 18 Smriti Granthas also, as like 18 Puranas. In that 18 Smriti Granthas, Gautama Smriti. Then Shankara, if you quote that Smriti Grantha and say, no, it is not correct. It is not doshaha, because he is telling it is dosham. If you see in this way, okay, you have to see the equality only in the equality, equals, and you have to see the differences only in the different variables. But you are mixing here. You are telling Brahmana and the animal and the dog and all like this. So then if anybody sees like that, it is a dosham. Smriti Grantha says. Shankara says no, it is not so. Because according to the Shruti, you have to take and consider this point. Shrutis are all not, if it is not supporting the, wherever Smriti little bit says something on its own, and if it contradicts to the Shruti, we have to leave the Smriti and we have to take only the Shruti. Shruti means Veda. Smriti Granthas are all, actually, this Bhagavad Gita also comes under the Smriti Grantham. That's why Bhagavan himself quotes many times the statements from the Upanishads and the Shastra, the Vedam. So, in this way, it is not wrong, it is not the dosham, because this Gnani is, his vision is beyond all the relativity. How that Gautama Smriti is not applicable here in this point. Now Lord explaining in the 19th shloka, keeping that in the mind. That's why Shankara brought out this point in between. There is no dosham. Ihaiva tairjita sargaha yesham samye stitam manah निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः. This nirdosham word we must underline it. Nirdosham. When a person is able to abide in his own essential nature by recognizing that I am the Atma, I am the pure consciousness, I am all pervading, I am Ekaha, Nityaha, Saraha, Satyaha. Te Brahmani Stitaha. Okay. For them, therefore, Tasmat, therefore, Brahmani Te Stitaha. If once you abided in the Supreme Self or the Brahma Gnanam, you are endowed with the Brahma Gnanam, your essential nature, then there is no any kind of these dharma, adharma, dosham and all that. So here let us see the actual real what Bhagavan wants to convey here. Now, one transformation we saw in the previous shloka, that is having the equal vision, sarva samadarshanam is the transformation number one. Now, what is the transformation number two? Okay, change. Change in not in the time, not in the space, not in the world, but the change, transformation is in the understanding of the person in his intellect. That is, it is not told directly in the shloka that, but it conveys this, what is that? Free from the fear of the death. Free from the fear of the death. The highest and the greatest fear for every one of us is the about the death. No one likes to die. No one is able to tolerate or bear the death of own kith and kin or relations. And whenever they see the death of the other neighbor or the friend or the relative, there is a furor crop up in the heart of the person. So I may also die. I may also leave this body and die. So the greatest fear is the fear of the death. Now that is conquered. How? Iha eva taihi jitaha sargaha. Now this conquering of the fear of the death and gaining, having the vision of the equality, oneness, all these things, Arjuna, not after the death and after going to some other world and all that. Iha eva, this also we must underline. Here and now, if you are really assimilated my teaching, this knowledge, iha eva, here only. No question of changing the place or traveling or no time, nothing. Iha eva. What? They means what? Those panditaha, taihi, jitaha. It is conquered by them here itself while living in this body. Before this body dies, what? Sargaha. Here, sargaha means rebirth. Okay? Or another common meaning is sarga means creation. This wise man know for certain that I never born. Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva. As we saw in the second chapter, sarga. There is no birth, no death. And actually there is no creation at all. This whole creation is only an aberration. Okay, it is only a projection. Creation is a projection. It is only an aberration of the mind. Sargaha. So here we have to take the meaning. He conquered the rebirth. That means what? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam won't take place for this Gnani. But indirectly, this word conveys that rebirth, even now I am not accepting. The Gnani doesn't accept that I born. But body wise, if you see, body has got birth and death, everything, growth and all that, all six modifications. So this Gnana makes that Gnani to know that as a Atma, I never born. Then where is the question of the birth and death and creation and all that? No. That's why in Mandukya Upanishad, Gaudapada says Nanirodho, Nachotpatti, Nabadho, Nachasadaka. There is no any creation, there is no uh, Nirodha, destruction of it. Everything is just like a projection, imagination, seeing something which is not there, as like the mirage waters, as like the colors of the rainbow. Is it there really? They are there? No. But we see. We see the sunrise. But is the sunrise is happening really? But purposefully, deliberately, we every day, uh, no, people who follows that sunrise time, they put in the paper. And many people will follow that also. So for practical purposes, it is okay. Sunrise and sunset, so you have to do these kind of pujas and early morning and all. But according to the knowledge, sunrise is not there at all. Because of the movement of the earth from north to east to west, we superimpose this movement of the earth east to west on the sun. Just like that, so here they conquered Jitaha. That means naturally when I know, when I declare, when I confirmly say that I have no birth at all, then where is the question of fear of death? But if I take myself as the body, birth and death, all these things are there. But I am not the body. That is the Gnanam, no? That's why we told that I am the Brahma Bhavaha, the fourth category, Gnanis. We are talking about that Gnanam and Gnani. So here conquering the fear of the death. By whom? Esham, whose mind is abided in the Samye, Stitam Manaha. So mind is undisturbed, unwavering, unconfused, such a in an equanimous state of the mind, Samatvam, these people are able to conquer the fear of their death, fear of the death, not their body. Iha eva taihi jitaha. What else more you want to conquer in this world? What else more you want to acquire the health than this knowledge? The highest wealth is the Gnanam, and the highest conquering or gaining is the conquering the fear of death. Then all other fears are very insignificant in front of it. But altogether, here the mind is very much now associated with his essential nature. Rather, the mind behaving in its own pattern, even the mind belongs to the Prakriti. That means here, Samye Sthitam Manaha, whose intellect, higher mind is abided, focused on the self. Naturally, this lower mind vikaras or changes doesn't affect that person. But mind is there, body is there. He also acts in this world, moves along with the others. So in this way, and abiding in this Samya Sthitam Manaha, and there is afterwards, there is no any dosha. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Nirdosham, the spotless, blemishless, and unchanging Brahman, Nirdosham. You cannot talk any relative aspect in the Brahman. It is like this. Can you talk anything or can you give any description about the darkness to the sun? Sun can never understand or can never imagine and think of what is darkness. In the dictionary of the sun, 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 there is no darkness. In the same way, in the Brahman, which is Sat Chit Anandam, which is conscious bliss existence, there is no any dosham. You cannot add any adjective, any visheshanam, or you cannot delete anything. So that's why it is nirvikaraha, nissangaha, sarvagataha, ekaha. So nirdosham. Indeed, it is samam. It is ekam and samam. So this samam word, if you want to attain that samatvam yoga uchyate as told in the second chapter, is possible only who saw this, understand this samam, nirdosham samam brahma. Why this samam word is here? Because in the previous shloka, samadarshanam is possible to that gnani because he recognized himself and that self itself is the self of everything, everybody, and it is samam. Absolute it is same, no any difference. The differences based on the size of the body and the nature of the body, quality of the body, the quality of the birth, species, jati, niti, kula, gotra, for all that is far beyond. Jati, niti, kula, gotra, duragam. Therefore, nama, rupa, guna, doshavarjitam, this niddosham, there is no any dosha. So for such a self-realized person, you asked a question in the previous sloka, not Arjuna, the Purvapakshi. Where is the dosham? Seeing the equals are equals and unequals are unequals. According to the for a Gnani, in his vision, everything is equal, samam. Who? Brahman. Nirdosham, that Brahma, and is samam also equal. Therefore, they always abide in that one which is equal everywhere. Brahmanite sthitaha. So in this way, Dvaitam, duality, in spite of they perceive the duality and the Dvaitam, but they abide their understanding. This is called transformation. So second transformation, free from the fear of the death because of knowing that equal, one, unblemished, uncontaminated consciousness, Brahma, I am. Now after explaining this here, Vyavahara Bheda always will be there. Don't forget that. Vyavahara Bheda. In Vyavahara, we follow the Dharma Shastra. Okay. So, Dharma Shastra wise, if you see, And in Vyavahara, good and bad, dharma, dharma, dosham, all these things. But Brahman can be known by only the Brahma Shastra. So Dharma Shastra is for Vyavahara and Brahma Shastra is for Paramarthika, the transcendental reality. Now, after saying this in the 19th sloka, then third sloka, what is the third transformation? The change takes place in the Gnani's intellect. न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. The knower of the Brahman is the Brahman itself. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati, Upanishad says. The knower of the Brahman and the Brahman is not different. That's why knowing is being. Knowing happens where? In the nose? No. Knowing happens in the knowledge, in the intellect. That's why we give importance in the Gnana Marga means notional correction. That's it. So Brahmavid Brahmani Sthitaha. He is always here. The third transformation, I will tell you that first because the shloka conveys a meaning from the different that aspect. That also we'll talk. What is it? Acclimatization. Acclimatization. Acclimatization means what? If a person wants to climb the highest mountains like Everest and the Kailas and all that, the two person who lived at the sea level and now he wants to climb the mountain, naturally he needs to first uh, acclimatize himself to the climate and the altitude levels. For that there will be training. It takes some time, some days or months he has to practice and gradually his system, body should accustom to that and then gradually only he can climb to the heights of the mountain. So in the same way here, the transformation here is for all kinds of okay in all kinds of interactions because Gnani also has to do the interaction because body is there, mind is there, the body has to be maintained, he has to live, life is there, but he accustomed himself, acclimatized what? For any pair of these complementaries, opposites come in the day-to-day life, in the transactions, he never get, because of getting something in favor of him, he never get elated or excited. Na prahrusyet priyam prapya. Here actually it is like a command. You should not never get excited, overwhelmed whenever something happens for your liking. Priyam. Or na udvijet prapya cha apriyam. If anything happens, suppose against your will and wish, then you should not become depressed or sorrowful. Udvijet. You should not get disturbed. You should not feel sad or bad. So this is one example of the priyam and apriyam, like and dislike. then this entire world, if you put in this list, everything comes under these two headings only. Okay? Sukham, Dukkham, Laham, Nashtam, Jayam, Apajayam, day, night. Yes? Everything, health and disease, everything goes in a phase of these complementaries. But which happens to whom and when, we don't know. They will just come and go. Nobody is not getting all the things very priyam only, and nobody is not getting all the time apriyam only. Okay, so we must learn and to accept whether it is comes in favor of me or it may not. It may come against to me. I have no any choice in this, but I have the choice not to get disturbed, not to become miserable. I have the choice. So, if my children, family members, my wife, my husband, if they are all listens and behave properly and they are good, it is good. But suppose if they are not to my expectation or to the expectation of the dharma or to the expectation of the peace and all this, also I am comfortable. If it happens, okay. If it doesn't happen, also okay. Also okay. So there is no any uh, rigid rule. Why it happened? I cannot tolerate. I don't want it. I don't like it. I hate it. No, this kind of reactions were not there. Same way, if it is happens also, there is no elation or the overwhelming and uh, feeling that I have done, I have achieved this. So hereafter, it should happen in this way only. Also, he won't put any bottom line like that. He knows that all these transitory relative relationships and all these things, they always like that. What see in this world, no one can say, for example, my wife, 100% she behaves and she is very favorable to my thoughts and my feelings and my wishes. Can you show anybody like that 100%? My wife or vice versa, my husband. Maybe 50% they are behaving as I wish. Maybe 60%, but definitely not 100%. It never happened because you are having your own way of thinking, whims and fancies. Same way that other person who is living in that body, okay, considering himself as the jiva or the ahankara, she also having the same her own whims and fancies and wishes. So naturally, they both cannot gel with each other 100%. So never expect anything from anybody. They should be like this. It should be like this. No, 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 sir. I am telling good only. Keeping the house clean is good only. No, cleanliness is next to the godliness. Okay, that is good what you said. But if others are not able to understand that, and if others are not able to maintain the cleanliness as you expect, then because everybody's behavior and mind is not in your control, then why you get disturbed and bother about if others are not able to follow some good discipline or the rule? If they behave well and good, it is good only. But they must understand, no? Therefore, that means you should not keep the key of your happiness in the other's pocket. Remember this. That is what is told here. न न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य न उद्विजेत् अप्राप्य प्रियं च अप्राप्य अप्रियं च अप्रियं प्राप्य. Okay, negative both. All this is possible because of what? How can I tolerate? How can I expect? Okay, that is only training. For that only the Vedanta studies. If I study Vedanta and if I am not able to keep myself calm and cool and balanced, and I will expect so many things where there is no choice, what can I do except worrying and disturbing myself? So don't expect so much, and so things should be happen in this way only. Either your children or either your close relations and husband and wife give some uh, choice. You take it as it is a choiceless existence. You cannot do more than that, because all those things are depending on the law of karma. To understand the law of karma's the depth, then naturally we accept it. Most of the parents' problem is their children. They complain, particularly when they are in the teenage or maybe after that also. What is their complaint? My children are not listening, Swami. My daughter is not listening. She is going in her own way and doing something. My son also, or something, any. But we must remember what my dear parents. You many times parents also say, Swami, 9 months I carried him in my stomach, and how much I spent and taken care of him, and now he is spoiled my peace of mind. He's not at all listening. I'm feeling so bad. Then the answer is, see, as a parents, we have given only a hardware, but that particular jiva came with a different software. As a parents, we are not giving the software. Remember this, only hardware. Whatever we talk about the genes, character, this, that, everything comes under the hardware only, but not the software. The software is his own Purva Janma, Karma, Vasanas. With that set of software only, that Jiva entered. You just created the body hardware. Once if you remember this, then you will get disturbed, you will worry, you will cry. Never. So this knowledge is for everybody into day-to-day life, how to interact and how to lead a peaceful, useful, successful life. Otherwise, we become miserable, disturbed, and we make others also miserable and disturb them. So, if at all possible, let us give the peace and happiness, but not the sorrow and disturbance. So here, sthira buddhihi. Now here 3 points are coming all together. Now his buddhi has become sthira. What is the meaning of sthira buddhi? Steady mind. One simple meaning. But here actually uh, we will take the words in a reverse, so it will come in order. How? He is a Brahmavit. Brahmavit means who has got the knowledge about the Brahman. That means here Brahmavit means by listening he understood that there is a Brahman, that Brahman I am, that is one without second. So Brahmavit, the knower of the Brahman. Many times in Shastra, some other places it will use Brahmavit is a Gnani who has abided in the Gyan. But here in this context, we will take it as a step by step. Brahmavit means who did the Shravanam very well, or maybe still doing the Shravanam, no problem. And secondly, he is Sthira Buddhihi. Because of the Shravanam, more and more you listen, more and more you get the doubts. But the miracle is, the wonder is, more and more keep on listening, all your doubts will get cleared. That is told doubtless knowledge. Whatever he heard through Shravanam, now through Mananam, he removed, clarified all the doubts. Then only Sthira Buddhi. So Brahmavit, who did the Shravanam, so see the importance of the Shravanam, listening, which in course of time removes all the doubts, then give the conviction, okay, that is Sthira Buddhi. And then third is Buddhi, Sthira Buddhi, Asammodha. Now he never gets deluded. No delusion. This third stage is called Nididhyasanam. Because of our old habit, we again may go into the wrong way of thinking because of the habit. And so to not to fall in that, okay, and that means to abide in the jnanam. So first hand we came to know about this knowledge, and then second stage all the doubts are clarified. Then I become the jnana nishthavan. So jnanam, and that jnanam is doubt free knowledge, and that then there is no going out or falling side. Jnana nishtha is called asammudaha. So these three stages will help a person to abide in his own self, Brahmani Spitaha. So because of all these efforts, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, then abided in the self, then only that person has got this third transformation. We are talking about the third transformation is what? How to interact in this world, how to act without reaction, action without reaction, and showing the attention without tension is the secret. This knowledge gives that. So three types of transformations are taken place in this person, Gnani. Then I will just give next shloka, we'll read first, then I will give some example. 21st shloka. Bahyasparsheshvasaktaha. Sorry. Bahyasparsheshvasaktatma विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखम् न ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते. I think the second line I read wrong. Sa बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखम् स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते. As the normal materialistic person, whatever happiness he gets because of the external comforts and the luxuries or the sensual pleasures, bahyasparsheshu, okay, sakta atma vindati atmani yat sukham. One second, sorry, here negatively we have to take bahyasparsheshu asaktatma. One whose mind is unattached to the any kind of the sensual pleasures of the possessions and relations, and he finds vindati, he gets sukham atmani in the self, because I am not getting any sukham and expecting anything from the material outside world. It is not going to make him a depressed or a dejected person, because more than that he gets the sukham, Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, because of his mind is now abided in the self which is the powerhouse of the happiness and the ananda, Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, who abided in this knowledge and gained this knowledge, he gets that Akshayam Sukham Ashnute, uninterrupted. Generally, we say UPS, uninterrupted power supply, standby, we are keeping, no? But here, same way, if my relations and possessions are not giving any happiness, even though I am not much entertaining them, I am not expecting anything from them, but still I am inside totally happy, because I have a internal UAS, not UPS. What? Uninterrupted Ananda supply. Actually, Ananda, I am supplying to everybody. I am not the beggar of the Ananda. I am not the seeker of Ananda from any material things. All material things are borrowing the Ananda from me. I am the uninterrupted Ananda supplier. So I will supply to everybody UAS, as we keep in every house UPS. What else you want? So Bhagavan told in this sloka, his life is with the things and without the things, with the beings, without the beings. If the children are good, they are taking care of me, well and good. If they are not there, they are not taking care of, also no problem, because I am not emotionally depending on any of these things. Any of these things. To understand this shloka's gist, okay, choiceless experience we told in the what prarabdha means, going through. See, in one example, typical example in the Ramayana Mahakavya, Rama got the news today his father Dasharatha is going to make him the prince king. Okay, and next day again message came that he is not going to be crowned. Not only that, he has to go to the forest and live for 14 years. So yesterday when he heard that he is going to be a Yuvaraja, crowning as a prince, he is not delighted. He is not overwhelmed. And today, because of this negative news, he is not depressed. You see, the victim is Rama. But in the whole Ramayana, if in that episode totally, except the victim Rama, the entire Ayodhya and the entire family members are all got disturbed. We must note this point. This is the glory and greatness of Rama. That's why he is able to teach the Rama Gita later to his brother Lakshmana. That is what I am now conducting in Tamil here. So, see how he is able to have the same face. No reaction, no repulse, no revenge, nothing. This is what is called the Brahmanishta, Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, whose mind is all the time reveling in this truth, is called Brahma Yoga Yuktatma, whose mind is always reveling in this particular thought and the knowledge. Then what can disturb him in this world? Nothing. No one, nothing, never disturbs the mind of the Gnani. So today we'll conclude here and see more in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat.